It's presidential, the outcome evidential. We strive for higher mental. This time no accidental. We shine because we special.
Your boy is an author family. What a beautiful day to kick the show off and let y'all know about the book Grateful, right? Go get it, man. Go check it out. It's on your Kindle. We got it paperback, hardback, whatever you need. This is my first book as an author. I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of everybody that's supporting, man. Let's go. Beautiful day.
Or maybe this one, it ain't meant for
Hey
you.
man, shout outs to I Am Mastery Academy. That's the academy that's teaching people how to learn and earn on the go, teaching people how to invest and be on the right side of money. Shout outs to Doc Spills and all the educators over there that's teaching people, whether it's levels, colors, harmonics, with simply teaching people how to learn and invest. And you can just match your colors. That's what we learned from day one. So get with me. That's at Read, Remember, Repeat or at Big MUGGA. Those are my Instagrams. And let's get this money, family. Big shout outs to CJA Alliance, Community Justice Alliance. If not us, then who? And back to my roots. That's my guy right there. He's doing his thing, pushing the culture forward. Y'all know we are definitely culture pushers, man. And I'm not talking about just rap or basketball. I'm talking about feeding the culture. My guys just gave back about a couple of hundred turkeys, man. And they feeding the people out here, you know what I mean? So if you want to help your community, step up, man. Do something that the community would respect, you know what I mean? And change the way you're doing things, man. Change your light. You know what I mean? Shout outs to CJAA and back to my roots, just for taking care of the community and taking care of the kids and everybody in general. There's always something going on every year. So yeah, man, let's stay tuned, man. We the new leaders. Miraculous day, gang. I'm excited. Read, remember, repeat. Y'all already know what it is, right? The livest reading show on the planet. And this is the show where we bring y'all knowledge on the books. We bring y'all awareness on books and why reading is important. We are currently on 50 Cent, Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter. I think this is episode 47. Follow through if you want to get the beginning and possibly just hear the audio on the book. I'm reading it. Follow every episode. Think and Grow Rich. We did that one first. And yeah, man, we gonna bring some more books to y'all. We got some more ideas too. We doing interviews, and anybody that would like to read and just volunteer some time, man, hit us up, DM us, let us know. Like, comment, and share this. But you already know. Without further ado, let me jump right into this show. Even with those disclaimers, the record created an uproar the moment it dropped on Hot 97, New York City's premier radio station at the time. Most of those artists weren't prepared for someone saying their name in a song. Throughout the culture, everyone was asking, whoa, who is the new guy? Because he is saying everyone's name and don't care about nothing. Some of the biggest ones, including Jay-Z, Big Pun, and Wu-Tang, had responses for me, which was exactly what I had hoped for. I needed something that was going to create attention around me, and How to Rob got me noticed immediately. Columbia snatched up the song and put it on the Into Deep soundtrack, which exposed me to a wider audience. Everything was going according to my plan, but then I got shot, which essentially derailed everything I put into motion. It would end up taking a few more years to experience the hit debut I worked so hard for. But I still learned a valuable lesson with How to Rob. People always respond to a competitor. When you're viewed as someone who is going to run into the fray as opposed to running from it, you'll always have eyes on you. Whether it's rap, sports, politics, media, or business, there's always going to be an audience for someone who isn't afraid to mix it up with their rivals. All you have to do to capitalize on that appetite for action is to keep your emotions out of the process. I didn't have a problem with most of the artists I mentioned in that song. I respected the hell out of guys like Jay, Pun, and Raekwon. But being respectful wasn't going to put me in the position I needed to be in to realize my dreams. I had to demonstrate my competitiveness to make the industry take notice of me, so that's exactly what I did. They haven't stopped paying attention to me since. Curtis versus Graduation. If How to Rob announced my competitive streak to hip-hop culture, My competition with Kanye West is what introduced it to mainstream America. Our battle took place in 2007 when Kanye's third album, Graduation, was due to come out a week after my third album, Curtis. When I saw the dates were so close to each other, I realized that we had a chance to do something special by turning our releases into a head-to-head competition. I pitched Kanye on the concept of each of us dropping the same day. Being an independent thinker himself, Kanye saw the value in my vision and agreed to move his release up. He understood we could collectively generate much more buzz by hyping our battle than being out on individual promo runs. The media loves a spectacle, and few things were more of a show than Kanye and me going head to head. We both played it for all it was worth, doing appearances together and adopting the role of two prize fighters before a big fight. To be clear, there was no actual beef between us. Kanye had never expressed any discomfort about the success I had, and I respected him as an artist. It was truly just a case of two people being comfortable with the concept of competing against each other. Personally, I knew competition was what I needed. That point me in my career. I was in the most vulnerable state an artist can reach confusion. So much had happened to me in such a short period of time that I had lost touch with my sense of self. Competition would help take me back to my roots. In order to regain that spark, I even moved back to my grandmother's house in Queens for a bit so I could soak up some of my old energy. Kanye was in a different point in his career at the time, but he took the competition just as seriously as I did. You already know, I'm going to give y'all some remember, repeat sauce real quick, something to put in the brain, and we're going to come right back.
The books that I recommend that you read in order to learn the music business, because obviously books are essential. They will change your life. What are the books that I recommend? And we're going to talk about that today on smartrapper.com. I'm Rob Level, and I'm going to talk to you guys right after the intro. Okay, number one, I'm going to talk about this right here as far as the business books go. And this is all you need to know about the music business. This is the 9th edition. I just got this in the mail actually today. I read the 8th edition already, but I got this one to freshen up on the newer version. I think this actually has 4 years more of updated information in it because the last one had come out in 2012, 2013, right? So that's very excited to actually get to reading this, but I'm finishing Oversubscribed right now, and then the audiobook I'm finishing is still Hitmakers, and that's almost completely done. But so we're going to talk about the couple books that I'm going to recommend. I know for fantastic book is this book, and I'll put the links below for you guys. Wow. And then the other two that I have are the one that I just bought, and I'll put these on the screen, but it's I just bought them on, it says on the 25th, and it's The Artist's Guide to Success in the Music Business, 2nd edition, the who, what, when, where, why, and how, and the steps that musicians and bands have to take to succeed in music. Now, I read the reviews on it. I was like, this looks like it's going to be a good book, and of course, I'll keep you updated on this. Yeah. But I bought this book, and I also bought Managing Artists in Pop Music. Now, there wasn't one for rap, and plus, first of all, let's go over this, right? So I decided to get one of the music business books that I got was going to be a manager book, because this way I understand more about management and how a manager, because in this book it's a guy who actually managed tons of pop artists, and pop artists deal with more than a rapper does, because pop artists are on a bigger scale, and I am going to be on a bigger scale like you want to be on a bigger scale, right?
And we are back. In the weeks leading up to the release, he locked himself away in the studio, redoing mixes and trying to make his album sound as tight as possible. He reportedly mixed Stronger over 50 times before he was finally satisfied. Neither of us were treating it like a stunt. Both of us were playing to win. In the end, Kanye took home the gold. Graduation sold 957,000 units its first week, while Curtis moved 691,000 units. It marked the first time two artists had moved over 600,000 units in the same week since 1991. Today, selling 691,000 units for your first week would be considered a massive success. But at the time, the narrative was that Kanye had soundly defeated me. Of course he did beat me. But what the public couldn't see was that I earned a major victory. The truth was that by the time Curtis was ready to drop, Interscope was already starting to pull back from me. I was in the green with them financially, as my first two albums had each sold a combined 20 million copies. But despite the success, it was still their discretion whether to continue spending market dollars on me. Despite all my success, they decided to slow down the cash flow. Even more damaging than holding back on the marketing dollars, they were undercutting my promotional strategy for the album. My plan had been to build up a street buzz with the song Straight to the Bank, which spoke to my core audience. Once that song was bubbling a bit, my idea was to release Amusement Park, which had more of a pop feel. It was the same strategy I used when I released Wankster before in the club. Get your core audience engaged first, then drop something for a wide audience. Interscope should have supported my plan. It had worked in the past, but when Amusement Park did not hit #1 as fast as they expected, they stated to second guess the strategy. That threw off the energy I was trying to build. To make matters even worse, when the record went to print, the whole album leaked prematurely. Those records should have come out after Curtis dropped, instead of in the weeks leading up to it. Once those leaks happened, I was in a bad spot. The public was none the wiser, but I knew Interscope had already severely damaged my launch. Thankfully, I knew just what to do. Instead of sitting around and moaning about my label, I took matters into my own hands. Just like I had 7 years earlier when Columbia was dropping the ball, I created a competition that would generate the buzz my label wasn't capable of creating. Even worse, I was competing against an artist whose label was doing everything, and I mean everything, to make sure he beat me. Jimmy Iovine might not have cared about beating Kanye, but Jay-Z, who was head of Def Jam at the time, damn sure cared about beating me. Jay had been extremely uncomfortable with my run in NYC for years, so he did everything under the sun to make sure he could beat me through Kanye. I realized that I was up against in the weeks leading up to the release. When Kanye and I both agreed to do joint appearances on BET, I had planned to bring Eminem with me, but BET told Interscope we couldn't have guests. Interscope said fine and told him not to come. Then the day of the show, I get there and Jay is performing with Kanye. So clearly, Jay had gone to some length to get around the no guest rule, whereas Interscope had just let it go. They simply weren't motivated as Jay. Jay took a lot of pride in Kanye's victory. I think that's one of the reasons he's so disappointed in Kanye today. Jay knows how much he supported Ye during that period, but it still wasn't enough for Ye. That probably hurt Jay. Jay even mentioned my battle with Kanye in his book Decoded, taking a little shot at me when he wrote rappers who use beef as a marketing plan might get some quick press, but they're missing the point. I congratulate Jay for doing the right thing by his artists in the situation, but I think he was the one who missed the point. First, like I mentioned, there was no actual beef in that particular competition. Second, without that competition, I have a little doubt that due to Interscope's missteps, my sales would have been much lower. Our competition actually turned what would have been a tough first week for me into a very respectable one. If I had just left Interscope to their own devices, I might have only sold 400K that first week instead. I managed to salvage a tough situation and create a historic moment. As I later told in an interview, Kanye West gets the trophy, 50 Cent gets the check. That's no shot at Kanye. He made a lot of money too, but it's a trade I'll take every time. 50 is a smart dude, man. You already know, family. Let's end it out, man.
Want to make it hot. That's when I found out it was cream in the crops. I'm on my way to the top, and now I'm getting a lot. Push phones off for the lot, dividing them in the lots. I look like I hit a lot. We turning up on the yacht. We shining a billion watts. We tying a trillion knots. They